restaurants are heading into 2026 under real pressure. A high-end steakhouse like Chicago's Kindling can charge $500 for a dinner, and they're only clearing $25 in profit. This is after labor, rent, and other fixed costs, all according to a recent report in the Wall Street Journal. That is how tight margins are, with food, labor, and rent still elevated. Joining me now for a pulse check on restaurants is Michelle Korsmo, President and CEO of the National Restaurant Association. She's tracking what restaurants are seeing in traffic, pricing, and hiring as we head into 2026. Michelle, thank you so much for your time. When you talk to restaurants and members of your association, what is the biggest source of pain at this point when they're taking a look at their line item budgets?
Well, it's just what you've said. Those margins in restaurants are tight. And as much as they love serving their consumer, the reality is we're dealing with food prices that are up 38% since before the pandemic, and labor prices that are up 35% since before the pandemic. So operating a restaurant continues to be a very small margin business. And while it's exciting to be able to serve customers, you want to do so in a way where you're bringing the best pricing possible for those customers. And having 4 people that has a $500 dinner with a small $25 margin is certainly a tough business to be in.
You talked about meeting customers where they are in terms of pricing. I heard a really interesting anecdote that people are tracking mozzarella sticks, for example, because that's a gauge of an appetizer, not an entree. Are consumers going in and ordering appetizers because they can't afford an entree? What are you seeing?
Well, what we see with consumers is they really like price certainty. And so if a restaurant is advertising the pricing on their appetizers, and those mozzarella sticks will always get you in the door because they taste so good, people are going to come in and order those appetizers because they know the price they're going to pay. And so this is really relying on those twin pillars of experience and value that people are seeking when they go to a restaurant.
We've talked about fine dining, casual restaurants, even fast food. Where are you seeing the biggest closures at this point?
So restaurant closures are actually up just slightly over normal patterns, and they tend to be fairly evenly spaced. You'll know that family dining is usually a tough place to be, but when comfort comes into play, that's a good sign. But where we're optimistic is the numbers of new restaurants opening is actually slightly higher than it normally is. So while closures might be up, we see the number of openings actually increasing. Just another sign of the resilience that we have with the restaurant industry.
I think resilience is a great word. I wanted to talk about something that I mentioned in the tease. It was a story that caught my attention, and frankly, I had no idea about it until I looked into it a couple days ago. There are about 8 states. The 3 that really stick out to me are California, New York, and Illinois, where they are not going to follow federal guidelines and allow no tax on tips. That these are states that are saying we still have a budget shortfall. So instead of no tax on tips, you have to pay state income tax on tips. Do the workers who have been so excited about this policy, are they aware of this in, up to 8 states that for now have said that they actually may still tax tips?
Well, they feel it every time they see that paycheck. And anytime you're looking at a space where your taxes are not going down when you expect them to, the servers and the bartenders that rely so heavily on those tips are definitely noticing. And this is one of the things that's always good is when you find those taxes to be burdensome and the servers and the bartenders that are experiencing this do so, they're going to talk about the affordability. Those dollars are so important right now, as it always is for people that are out there serving their customers and wanting to be able to keep more of their tax dollars to do the things that they need to and provide more affordability in their own life is really important.
Are you talking to some of these states and lobbying more and saying, wait a minute, many people liked the idea of no tax on tips. Please don't go back on the state level and reverse this?
Yeah, we're always actively engaging with state legislatures as well as Congress, talking about how to create the best environment for the people that work in the restaurant industry to do so in a way that makes it as profitable and affordable as it can be. And so, with our network of state restaurant associations, we are actively engaging with the legislatures and the governors to talk about the importance of this tax policy.
This is kind of a one-off. We talked about this year how we stopped printing pennies because it costs more to make the penny than it did a cent, which is what the penny was. So we were trying to figure out, do you round up? Do you round down? Do you round to the nearest 5 cents? Are your restaurants members doing this? How are they thinking about rounding, or does it not matter because it's a credit card usually?
It is not. What's interesting is 1 in 4 transactions in restaurants are actually cash transactions.
Wow.
So these pennies really matter. It's something people are dealing with very often. And we just recently received guidance from Treasury. We had talked to Treasury and written them formally about getting guidance for restaurants about how to do rounding. And so they did that work to say that you can round to the nearest nickel, which is really useful, but we still need Congress to act. So it's Congress's job to pass legislation that would provide that safe harbor on that guidance that we have from Treasury.
I'm
So
out of time.
restaurants.
I only have 30 seconds. What's the hottest culinary trend for next year that you see?
Oh, we are very much a global food environment, and those global flavors are going to be big in 26, along with a smashed burger. So expect to see more smashed burgers and warm culinary protein delights.
I love the value menu myself. Michelle Korsmo, thank you so much for joining. We appreciate it.